What is up, NFL fans? Welcome back to another episode of For Your Viewing Pleasure. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by Wesley Coleman. And my gosh, I cannot believe we're in week 10. Wesley, I don't like this. It's going way too fast. How are you?
I'm good. It is going way too fast, but I mean, it'll be fun once we get to the playoffs. I think there'll be things to talk about.
There's a plenty to talk about every week for sure. And week 9 was wild. Anything stand out in week 9 from you before we move on to week 10?
The the Bengals defense is awful. I mean, I think they're reaching. We've been wrong saying that maybe they're getting better, and they sometimes they figure it out. They're bad. Like, and that's. I mean, I feel bad that it's happening to Joe Flacco. I'm kind of glad that it's not happening to Joe Burrow, but for an offense that's put up that many points and the defense that just can't stop it, it's pretty awful.
Well, and I think too, like the injuries around the league are just really, really bad right now. And I'm sure it's every year, but when you see high profile players going down, like Jaden Daniels is one that was a pretty gruesome injury. Thankfully, it wasn't to his throwing arm, but he's going to be out for an extended period of time. On the Commanders, Lattimore goes down with an ACL injury. And you're seeing some teams that are just absolutely decimated with injury, and that is going to impact how things shake out moving forward. So let's talk about week 10 in the National Football League. As we always do, we start with the primetime games. Thursday night football this week, we got a doozy. The Las Vegas Raiders go to the Broncos. The Broncos are giving 9.5 points. The Raiders dropping their overtime loss to the Jags last week, 2-6. Broncos 7-2. What do you make of these two teams?
I mean, the Broncos are going to find ways to win games. It doesn't matter who they're playing. It's going to be a close game. It's going to come down to something in the fourth quarter. It seems like maybe this one won't.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, honestly, like the Broncos are a weird team. Like they're 7-2, and you can't take that away from them. But at the same time, like you said, it just always seems like it's one of those. It takes the fourth quarter, and you're figuring out what the hell's going on. I don't know. It's Thursday night football. We'll watch. But if you had to take a pick here, are you taking the Broncos to cover that 9.5?
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the international series. 9.5 is a lot on Thursday night. We've seen some blowouts last week. Thursday night, Baltimore covered down in Miami. The Raiders are I'd probably give the points. I'd probably think they win by at least 10. So, all right, let's go to the international series. That continues. It picks up again. The NFL is in Berlin, and it's the Colts and Falcons. The Colts are coming off their loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're 7-2. The Falcons lost a tough one to New England. They're 3-5. Should this game be competitive? Right now, Indy is giving 5.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be good. I think they're both needing to kind of prove something here. You've got Atlanta now. I mean, they were looking like they're kind of running towards a winning record. Now they have a losing record. Indianapolis, that's a big loss to the Steelers. That's kind of a good time for them to prove themselves. So Atlanta's looking to probably get back, headed in the right direction.
Yeah, Indy's got this game, and then they have their bye week, and so you're thinking, okay, if they're banged up, which they didn't have a lot of injuries going into that game in Pittsburgh last week either, but the Colts, now people are asking questions. They're saying, is this team nothing more than a product of their not so strong schedule to start the season? And they kind of got smacked in the mouth by the Steelers defense, which was not great going into that game. What's your take on the Colts, though? Do you think they're still the team to beat, or do you think there are some kinks in the armor?
No, I think they're a good team. Listen, that was a close game. Daniel Jones throwing for 342 yards is impressive because in a league where nobody's throwing for 300 yards except for him and Joe Flacco. I think the Colts are a good team. The Steelers have been up and down. This was a game that they really needed to get up for at home, and they did the job and got it ugly enough.
Yeah. So then Sunday night football, this is going to be an interesting game out on the West Coast. The Steelers go to play the Chargers. The Chargers are banged up. Joe Alt done for the year with an ankle injury. Omarion Hampton, they thought could be back from IR, is not going to be back. Their offensive line's a little beat up, and the Steelers come in again off of that win over the Indianapolis Colts. It's going to be a tough trip. They never play well seemingly on the West Coast. The Chargers are giving 3.5 here. What's your take on this Sunday night game?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the Chargers, I don't know if they're being consistent enough. They've lost a couple of games, which didn't make any sense. they had the big win against the Vikings, but that was when the Vikings played terrible. So they had just had a one score game that they just won against the Titans, which doesn't look good for the way this NFL season's going. I mean, and the Steelers have to build off of last week's win. Like they can't get hyped up about that or get overconfident or see that the Chargers are injured and struggling. Like this is, I don't know, it kind of looks like a trap game for the Steelers where they're like, oh, maybe we're the best team in the AFC, and oh, look at this team that's injured coming in.
Yeah,
Got to play.
I hear you. I hear the Steelers fan base, the vast majority are saying the same thing that you are. One game is not going to basically turn things around, not after you got shredded by Joe Flacco and the Bengals offense, and then the same against Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft on primetime. So they go back to primetime. Can they kind of get rid of that funk that they had the prior 2 weeks? Can they keep their swagger going? We'll see. The Steelers defense is banged up. Their secondary is, they had to rely on Kyle Duggar, who had been in the building for like 2 days last week. So it's rough. Like they've got an illness going around the locker room. It's going to be interesting. I like the Steelers on the road here. I just think the Chargers are such an up and down team, but if you catch them when they're up, they're a tough team to beat. So it's going to be an interesting game. Let's go to Monday Night Football. Eagles at Packers. This is an interesting game. The Eagles 6-2. They're making a lot of trades. The Packers coming off of a really bad loss to the Carolina Panthers. This is in Lambeau. What do you think about this big NFC showdown?
Well, I think the question here is what's going on with the Packers. I mean, they just got smacked by the Panthers.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Now, again, they were coming off a big win against the Steelers, but you've got to be questioning everything in your life after that, right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's the wins this year. Of course, the Packers start off with a win against the Lions, but remember we were questioning who the Lions were. Their other wins this year is a win against the Commanders, who have been hapless, the Bengals, who are struggling, and the Cardinals. Besides their win over the Steelers, the win over the Steelers kind of looks like the real win on their schedule.
Yeah,
this could go into, and the Packers are fixing to run on playing the Eagles, the Giants, the Vikings, the Lions, and Bears and Broncos. This is about to be like a little bit of a run where the Giants are fighting hard. So even if they're not great, the Packers may be in a hole here in a month from now. And it could start right here with this Eagles or continue with this Eagles.
We said the same thing about the Colts when you looked at their schedule, how it was easy early on, and then it was going to get very, very difficult. Not that they can't win those games, but in terms of being favored, they're not going to be favored in as many. The Packers are in the same situation. The Eagles, again, like I mentioned, excuse me, have made a lot of moves. They trade for Jair Alexander. They get the pass rusher down from Miami. His name escapes me right now. I think this Eagles team is trying to build up for a big stretch run. They basically have the division wrapped up. They don't have to worry about too many teams in that division. The NFC East is essentially theirs, but they also probably want the bye. I don't know.
Two parts of that, just so you know, we're talking like the Packers are dead. The Packers are in first place in the NFC North, which is one of the best divisions in football. Yes. They're kind of getting the tiebreaker because of their tie. I mean, the Eagles, yeah, they're trading for people. There's also a lot of rumors about they're not shopping AJ Brown, but they're not hanging up the phone when people are calling. So we'll see by the time this is airing, we'll know what happened. But there's a lot going on there.
That's like when the Steelers with George Pickens. We're not trading him, but if someone calls and gives us a deal that we like, then we'll probably trade him.
They would have been smarter to have announced before the draft that they were trading him.
Well, that's neither here nor there. All right, let's talk about our must-watch games of the week. They can be the games that we obviously talked about, but what do you think are some must-watch games this week?
Well, I mean, I really like the Rams 49ers game. Mm-hmm. It's one of the big competitive games. I still don't know what the 49ers are. I mean, they're 6-3, so obviously there's something going on. But this is a big game for their division. Seattle looks great. The Rams look amazing. The 49ers, I mean, whoever wins this kind of at least keeps pace with Seattle, who's playing Arizona for being in first place and having 7 wins. I'm interested to see here because the 49ers defense is good. It just we'll see what the Rams offense looks like the best in the NFL maybe right now.
And it's interesting. I saw a quote from Kyle Shanahan. They asked if because Mac Jones is playing so well, are they telling Brock Purdy, take your time? We don't need you to come back. And of course he says, No, it has nothing to do with it. But I can't help but think that they haven't been very pleased with their quarterback play without Brock Purdy in the lineup. And it doesn't have something to do. I'm glad you brought this game up because it kind of snuck through the cracks and I didn't have this pegged as a must watch game. But this is going to be a good one. In the NFC West, man, who would have thought you have 3 teams, 6-2 or 6-3 at this stage of the season? That's a great division. That's a really good division. Can't take anything away from. But to give you the spread there, the Rams are giving 3.5. Who do you like in this one?
I like the Rams.
Okay, I do too. I'll tell you another game that I guess I don't know if it's must watch, but it's one that definitely intrigues me. Is Ravens at Vikings. Because the Vikings coming off of that huge win on the road in Detroit against the Lions, JJ McCarthy's first start in a long time since he came off of injury. The Ravens, they look like they're back. They've won 2 games in a row. Lamar Jackson comes back on Thursday night, gets the rust off, beating the Dolphins down in Miami. This is an interesting game with the Ravens giving 4.5 points on the road in Minnesota. What do you think about this?
I mean, JJ McCarthy looked really good. I mean, we're just not gonna sugarcoat that at all. We have no idea. I mean, they beat the dang Lions,
Yeah.
and I mean, he's got a couple of starts in his NFL career. Like he didn't play last year. He only played a couple of games for this year. If he's gonna play this way, that's I mean, you got to get the ball to Jefferson and Addison, and I think he looked really good. This is interesting, especially like let's not forget the Baltimore defense is not good. This is not your Ray Lewis's Baltimore defense. Very different. So that Vikings offense is set up to probably score some points.
Well, the Vikings ran the ball well in Detroit too. And if they can do that and make JJ McCarthy's life a million times easier, that's their recipe for success. We'll see if they can do it. Are there any other games that you would say are must watch?
Absolutely. That the New England Tampa Bay game is 2 first place teams.
Good
I
point.
think 2 teams that we didn't know were going to be in first place. I mean, Tampa Bay maybe, but a lot of people were predicting Atlanta to be better than they are. But that's 2 first place teams playing in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay favored by 2.5. Drake May is looking really good. Baker was the early season MVP favorite that kind of fell off a little bit. We'll see what happens this week if his receivers are playing. It looks like maybe Bucky Irvin and Rashad White might be playing. So they will focus on running the ball against New England. I like that game though. It's a good one.
That is the game that you said like how his MVP candidacy, so to speak, kind of fell off. It fell off when all his receivers got hurt, and so he had no one really to throw the football to.
Yeah.
They're coming off a bye week, so I hope they are at full health because you want to see a good game. That's a good one. I'm glad you brought that up. And the Patriots, man, 7-2, you can't take anything away from them. They're first place in the AFC East. Who would have thought that heading into Week 10? All right, let's go to upset alerts. We're talking about teams that aren't favored. This could be from a gambling perspective with a spread, or it could be straight up. Any games that catch your attention and say, hey, this could be an upset?
I mean, it's going to sound crazy, and this is not about the upset team. It's about the favored team, but Buffalo, Miami, because this is a game Buffalo loses. This is what Buffalo does.
Yep.
This is the classic Buffalo loss at Miami that they just pull off in the middle of the season. And then we all go, what are we even watching? And Buffalo, again, not in first place. The Patriots are in first place in their division. And this just, listen, I think Miami's terrible. I think they're going to run the ball a lot. We'll see what happens if Tua gets benched early if he plays bad. But this is a game that Buffalo loses. All the
You're
time,
right. You're right. They're giving 8.5 too.
8.5.
I would definitely take the Dolphins getting 8.5 at home, coming off of that win over the Chiefs. If the Bills drop this game, man, that is especially if the Patriots find a way to win in Tampa, that would be a really tough hole to climb out of for them in the AFC East. But still, a lot of football left to play. I'll tell you one, and I don't know the status of the quarterback, and that's going to have a lot to do with this. CJ Stroud being hurt. The Texans are hosting the Jaguars. The Jaguars are 5-3. And they're coming off of an overtime win against the Raiders, which, say what you want, it's a win on the road against the Raiders. If CJ Stroud's not playing, I'll take the Jaguars getting 1.5 points on the road. I just think the Houston, while they're playing better, if they don't have Stroud, they're nothing. And so I think for upset alert, you could take money line. Jacksonville's plus 105 on the money line. I'll take the points, though, for sure. But again, I don't know if CJ Stroud's status, if he's playing, I might hedge in the other direction. I don't know. What's your take here?
it's really hard in this year's NFL to get a concussion and play 7 days later. It's
Yeah.
really, really hard. Now, it was early in the game, and we heard that yesterday he was doing good, definitely still in the protocol. This may be one of the times where somebody comes to it. Having said that, like Houston wasn't awful with their backup quarterback in. It wasn't like, but it's definitely not C.J. Stroud and playing Jacksonville type of
Yeah.
worthy.
Would you be tempted to take the Eagles getting 2.5 on Monday night?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, I think the Eagles getting their 2.5 and Pittsburgh getting 3.5. I like both of those.
I wasn't going to say that, but I agree with you.
Again, another one of these interdivision games that always ends up this way. Listen, I think Seattle's really good. I think 6.5 points to give to a division opponent like Arizona when we were expecting Kyler Murray to come back. And Marvin Harrison, I mean, first time in his NFL career, he had 7 catches in a game, looked really good this last week. But if there's any kind of thing there, I'm not saying Arizona can win, but the 6.5 can be a lot for a intra-division game like that when Seattle, Arizona, and the Rams kind of all go 1-1 against each other every year.
That's true. That's a good one. All right, let's go to the sneaky good matchup, a game that no one's really talking about, but could be a good one. What's your thoughts here? Any games pop off the screen for you?
I mean, can you get interested in New York, Chicago just because Jackson Dart's playing well? I mean, I think if Scatabo and Malik Neighbors are there, we're a lot more excited about that. But we're also like needing to. I don't know. Is there interest in whether or not Caleb Williams is good? Like I felt that started at the start of the year, but maybe that's fell off. But they just scored a bunch of points against the terrible Bengals. Oh no! Again, you're 5-3 with the Bears, which I predicted that they were going to be around 500 for the first half of the year, and then the back half of the year they were going to push above 500. They're beating what I predicted they were going to do, but even looking pretty good. So I mean, is there intrigue there because there's young quarterbacks?
Yes, I think there is. And like you said with Buffalo, this is a game the Bears lose typically. Now, Ben Johnson's a different coach. And so we've seen it's a different Bears team, but you come off of that rousing victory, come from behind, last second drama in Cincinnati to win that game. But then on the other side of it, because you can see the Bears have a letdown. On the other side of it, I see Brian Daboll coaching for his career. You go back 3 weeks ago, and I would have said Daboll's fine because all of a sudden the Giants were playing tough. They beat the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. He's got Scatabo. He's got Dart. They're looking good. He looks like he's made some good decisions. Now, well, that shine has definitely worn off. And I think that there's a good chance that if he continues to lose, his job could be in jeopardy. I think that means that they're going to be playing with some desperation. I think this is a good pick.
I can't agree with you. Those last 4 games for the Giants were Eagles, Broncos, Eagles, and 49ers. The 49ers they end up losing by 10, but there was a competitive game. The other games were one score games. They lose to the Broncos by 1, the Eagles by 8. They were competitive in all those games, had a chance to they either had a lead in the fourth quarter or had a chance. I think that the Giants ownership should be happy with what Daboll's getting out of.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And you tied your coach to this quarterback that he drafted in the first round to go back into the first round to get. I've always felt like you got to give the guy a chance to develop him. But we also know what life is like in the NFL. And so we'll see. Yeah, exactly. I will say this, a sneaky good game. You talked about backup quarterbacks, Jacoby Brissett for the Cardinals, obviously. You mentioned Houston. I don't even know who their backup is. Is it still Dave Webb or something like that? Anyways, Lions Commanders in Washington. We know there's not going to be Jaden Daniels, and they got a lot of injuries, but the Lions Commanders, Marcus Mariota, I'm just saying this could be one of those games. The total is 48.5. I think that's probably pretty accurate. We'll see what this game looks like. There are some people thinking that the Commanders could be sellers, though, at the trade deadline. And I'm not sure what that'll do to this game. And that's another thing to keep in mind, folks, is that if there's a team that trades a lot of their assets away, it could impact these lines. It could impact the game and how they look. So we'll see. But what's your take on Lions at Commanders?
Yeah, I think that the Lions are going to absolutely. It's actually one I normally 8.5's a lot, but I think that the Lions cover. I think that the Commanders. One thing that kept them fighting was knowing that Jaden Daniels was, when he was injured, he was coming back. So hey, let's keep it competitive, let's keep it close, because when we have Jaden for the last 9 games of the season, we're going to figure it out and just be ready for the playoffs. That's over. and again, this looks like Terry McLaurin's going to come back now that Jaden Daniels out. Like those guys cannot play football together this season. It's just it's crazy. I think this. I just want to bring up that the Lions got knocked out of the playoffs last year at home against the Commanders. This is a revenge game for the Lions.
Good point.
They don't care if Jaden Daniels is playing or not. I think they want to hurt Dan Campbell, somebody that wants to go into that home stadium and
good
hurt
point.
their fans' feelings.
All right, let's do the can only watch one segment. If you can only watch one game on the docket this week, which game are you watching?
So, I mean, because there's an obvious one, are we just throwing out the Browns and Jets? We're going to act like that one's not happening.
I was going to bring that up in the next segment, but
preview of what's to come. Listen, I think it's going to be, I mean, honestly, the Rams and 49ers. And I think it's because I don't know what the 49ers are. If Brock Purdy's playing, I really want to kind of find out. I watched the 49ers play against the Saints this year to start their second game of the season, and they're 6-3 right now. That surprises me with their injuries and everything they're dealing with. So I'm interested to see that. I think the Rams are very good. This is either where the Rams, I think, move into a kind of that top 3 team tier in the NFC, or the 49ers kind of put their stamp on, okay, well, there's maybe there's 6 teams in the mix.
Yeah. That's a good game. I could even throw in Patriots Bucks because you really turned my attention to that game. But I think if for those that just want entertainment value, I think the Sunday night game is going to be very, very entertaining between Chargers and Steelers, one way or the other. And I'm going to go with the Monday nighter. I think Eagles at Packers is you can only watch one game of the week. I think it's going to be a really good game. I don't know if I'll get to see it as a YouTube TV subscriber. I might just have to follow on Twitter.
I can FaceTime you and I'll just hold up my phone and we can watch it together.
That would be great. Great viewing experience. So, all right. Dud of the week segment means that I get to try and pick the 3 lowest ticket sales. You have those in front of you?
I do. And we know which is the lowest one.
I mean, is it Browns Jets?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the lowest.
By $1. There's another one.
Okay. I'm going to say that Saints Panthers.
Oh, man.
Really?
I mean, okay, so I'll just go. The Panthers are third. That's at $61. It's actually, so it's a little bit up. But I mean, the Panthers, shocking. We haven't talked about it. It's 5-4.
Yep.
They're about to be 6-4.
I'm going to say Bills Dolphins.
You're missing number 2.
Bills Dolphins.
It is not Bills Dolphins. I think Bills fans travel too well. That's a $119 ticket.
Wow. Okay. Who is it? What's the other one?
It is going to be Jacksonville at Houston.
Man,
I think that Houston underperforming most of the time. They're 3-5. Maybe Stroud's hurt. People are dumping tickets, and I mean Jacksonville fans aren't traveling to Houston.
Are there Jacksonville fans? What is it? What is that ticket?
$44. So it's $1. It costs $1 more than the Browns versus Jets ticket.
Oh my gosh! All right,
hey, this is like double the price of what our lowest ticket's been. Like people are getting excited about the end of the football season.
Hey, I don't know.
I just want to go ahead and preview to next week just because it is special. Houston is playing at Tennessee. You can get tickets for $13 right now for week 11.
Plan your trips now, folks.
$13. Nashville, great city to visit.
Yeah. Hey, if you're just looking to go catch a game,
$13. Go watch the first quarter. You've seen Cam Warren play in person, and then
I've got a 20 in my wallet. Let's go see an NFL game. Why not?
The Hall of Fame, the music, or is it Country Music Hall of Fame? Or is it Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland. That's the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville. Yeah, but that's okay. What's your dud of the week, Wesley?
I mean, it's that Browns versus Jets. I mean, all you're sitting there thinking is, I mean, you're just hoping if Myles Garrett gets 5 sacks, that would be kind of cool to see him, see how many sacks he can get up to. But there's no reason to watch that game.
Yeah, Kevin Stefanski's giving up play calling duties before this game. Like, what is going on? And is this a game that we see Shedeur Sanders? Like, I think we're at that stage with the Browns where each game you're wondering, is this the game that Dylan Gabriel gets replaced? Kevin Stefanski says over and over again, it's not going to happen unless there's an injury. I don't know, but I'm with you though. Browns at Jets, by far dud of the week.
No matter what, if Shedeur just doesn't get on the field this year, no matter what, he starts the last week of the season against the Bengals, because at least against that defense, anybody can look good. But that would be the one reason to start him this week, is he would play against the Jets and he'd play against the Ravens next week. I just think you don't want him playing against the 49ers, which they play them in a month.
Yeah. All right, man. It's been a good show. Why don't you tell everyone what's coming up with the Don't Patrol and where they can find you on the social media?
We're covering college quarterbacks. We're figuring out who we're going to draft with the number 1 overall pick. If you have any suggestions outside of, obviously we're Mendoza fans right now. Let's hope he keeps playing great. But you can find us on X at who.wesley13. You can find me on at Don't Patrol PCast on X, or Don't Patrol Podcast on any of your streaming platforms. Where can we find your Steelers coverage, sir?
Yeah, you can find me on the Steel Curtain Network, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, steelcurtainnetwork.com. Want to find my takes individually? It's at jhartman, ARTMAN_PIT on Twitter. Wesley, man, week 10. Enjoy it. We'll talk next week. Take it easy.
See you next week.